Almost 1 year ago, this committee met to do the same thing we are doing today. Consider a partisan messaging bill instead of a comprehensive bipartisan surface transportation reauthorization. I said then that we were ceding our responsibility to put forward substantive infrastructure policies to our colleagues in the Senate, and the same holds true today, sadly. Last month, our colleagues in the Senate in the Energy and Public Works Committee passed a substantive surface transportation bill, and they did so with unanimous bipartisan support after months of good faith negotiations. The bill itself includes substantive and historic investments in our surface transportation. It includes funding for transportation and transformative infrastructure projects in both rural and urban communities. And it has well-rounded policies to increase safety while meeting the needs of different surface users. Critically, the bill includes consensus-driven policies derived from each side's priorities, such as streamlining federal permitting, which we've heard a lot about today, to promoting project delivery or investing in resiliency in the face of climate change. Although I intend to withdraw this motion and this amendment, the amendment I'm offering today would insert the language of this legislation into the bill we are considering today, demonstrating that a substantive bipartisan proposal is out there if we choose to pursue it. 1 year ago, this committee passed a partisan bill that was considered by the House, and then of course, it went nowhere. It was 2 days of incredibly wasted time. Imagine if we had spent that year working together on a bipartisan bill, instead of hardening our respective positions to repeat this entire fruitless exercise that we're engaged in right now in this political theater and wasting more time. The people we represent are the ones who are hurt most by our inaction. I've seen firsthand in my district in central New York, where our cities and towns are desperate for long overdue investments in critical projects, or where families and businesses have had to contend with crumbling roads and hazardous bridges. One look at the U.S. Society of Civil Engineers Infrastructure Report Card will tell you all you need to know, and that these problems are not unique, and that in fact they're getting much worse. With families losing $1,080 a year in disposable income as a direct result of the approximately $786 billion backlog of road and bridge projects, something must be done. And it's not this. What makes today's markup even more disappointing and frustrating is that I know that there are members on both sides of the aisle who are willing to work together on these issues and are willing to make hard choices and tough votes to get things done. I've had the pleasure of working with many of them on the House Problem Solvers Caucus's Infrastructure Working Group, where we have worked together to put forward a wide range of consensus-driven infrastructure policies, including those for surface transportation. It takes time and we don't agree on everything, but that is the work that our constituents sent us here to do, and they need Congress to deliver on infrastructure. Quite frankly, we're failing them. Given that it has been the previously stated intention of the Biden administration to pursue bipartisanship on this issue, today's markup should have served as a starting point for a much larger effort that encompasses all the demands facing our nation's physical infrastructure. I hope that our committee can still work together to accomplish that goal in the months ahead. But like I said, this exercise we're going through today and tomorrow, it's not it, and we all know it. If not, we will be relying on the Senate to put forward legitimate bipartisan legislation like the amendment I'm offering today, or we will force our constituents to rely on stopgap authorizations yet again that do not meet the real needs in our communities. I ask my colleagues to return to the negotiating table in the spirit of bipartisanship. And although I withdraw this amendment, I ask very strongly that all of us reconsider our hardened positions and bend a bit for the sake of our American constituents.